from 1 to 10?
He's least stressed. Must learn from him.
Red alert.
Okay, for me, I want to be stress-free. Yeah, so
it's a choice.
Correct. To me, everyone has their own pace in life lah. So just follow your flow and enjoy what you're doing. I feel that life should be enjoyable.
When I was about to graduate, I decided to go and find a full-time job. The pay, it was 1K. Yeah, it was full-time. They actually told me that there was another degree holder that was supposed to come in. But because I'm a poly grad and I'm cheaper, so they rather choose me.
Good grades are the most important factor in getting a good job.
Oh.
Next.
Everyone's the same.
Yeah, everyone has the same.
In uni, I didn't do very well. The initial part was a bit hard because my grades is really, really bad as compared to my peers. Once you get to the first job and then you acquire all this experience, right? Then the next job where I go for, right, they did not ask anything about my grades. And the interesting thing is that my second job was the subject that I did very badly in school.
In school, I didn't do very well as well. I was just like an average student. It did get me into the first internship. As long as you have an average score and you have relevant experiences and you have a good portfolio to substantiate your capability, eventually you will still get the job, you will still do well.
Degree holders have an advantage.
If you are a fresh grad with no experience, I think that serves as a benchmark for the interviewers, the employers.
It only gets you to the door. The next part of it, where you talk to the interviewer, that's the next step where you gotta put your work in. Yeah, then that's where your experience comes in to convince the interviewer how good you are as an air candidate. Yeah, because the competition is very high with people nowadays getting more and more paper qualifications.
So how do you stand out? Don't have a degree. Solves the problem.
I was just having this conversation with a friend yesterday only, right? That in Switzerland, right? Apparently everybody is a master holder.
Is it because of their education system?
It's just that way.
Right.
Yeah. So you can see a barista but master holder.
They call it like the education inflation or something like that. Yeah, it's like everyone is getting degrees and everything. Now you gotta pick the best among the degrees.
For myself, I got my first software developer job without any technical qualifications at all. I guess I was lucky because my previous employer found me on LinkedIn. I think in terms of paper qualification, I think nobody will hire me because I went through a programming bootcamp 3 months and then I think my programming knowledge is not that great, but he took a chance on me and then I proved my worth, like I can work.
School has prepared me for the working world.
Huh? Don't you start earlier? Few of us here, we are all like I think marketing, business, tech. But what about people who are training to be a doctor? These are the people that actually need the school, right? You need
they
go
definitely
through.
need the school.
You need to go through. So like no choice.
Like you don't trust a self-taught doctor, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think we are fortunate. We are in this era that where internet is so widely accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
That everything can be learned online to a certain extent.
We might not have the experience or have someone to teach us like, oh, in your first job, try to negotiate your salary. Make sure you have different job offers. I think the school is not focused on that, which I think is pretty important because I guess like we do have some leverage if you know how to use it.
The school teaches basics, like how we communicate and stuff. Like we need this for the outside world.
Okay, I'm not sure how to say this, but I'm a game student, like I said. Can you imagine being a student, you just study a new language. Every semester, we have a game project. So maybe that's where it's different from you guys. So that's why I think that my school have prepared me very well for this.
I actually went back to study. Why I go back is actually mainly one is I want to do a career switch. Secondly is this is the fastest way I can acquire knowledge. So actually the decision to go back is more of like a knowledge acquisition.
I know there's a lot of like theoretical and practical aspect of education, but I feel that even though I put no, right, I feel like it's actually useful because there's a mentor-mentee relationship, meaning that you can connect with your school's alumni to find out what is their job scope. And then you can then from there assess whether this industry is suited for you.
I am happy where I am now.
This is my definition, not so much of like not happy with my life or not happy with my job, but more like I'm still not happy with where I am now. I think I still can go further.
I've seen this quote before. It's about saying that imagine 2 years ago you wanted what you have now. So true enough, when 2 years ago when I was still studying, I wanted whatever I have right now. So looking back, I actually did get to the goal and did get to what I wanted to be. So in that aspect, I'm quite satisfied with where I am.
Having a good education is still relevant today.
I think for me, education is acquiring knowledge. I wouldn't say it's in terms of certificates or degree or anything. That's why I think it's still very relevant, because in a way, to survive in this world, you have to know what's going on around you. And that's where like the knowledge acquisition is very important.
Okay, actually I was
You stopped, right?
Yeah, I stopped. Because I realized because when he was mentioning, I was just like, oh yeah, education. Like for example, if you're in business in marketing, I don't really think you need a degree because I'm pretty sure that's more of experience. But if you're an Archi student, you are an interior design student, you are a doctor, a lawyer, you definitely need education.
If I refer education as where you got your paper qualifications or your qualifications, I don't think it's relevant in the future as well. Like what I study now, what we know now might be irrelevant because the next new wave of technology might take over us. For example, like when Facebook came about, nobody thought of, oh, I want to be a social media influencer. Nobody thought of that, right? But at the same time, we as humans are adaptable. So that's why we are able to, be adapting to whatever changes out there.
My journey is a bit different. So actually after poly, I almost dropped out actually.
Oh.
Yeah, my poly grades were very bad. Yeah, so how I find out about this WSP program, right, is actually through a friend. What they do is they offer you to study and work full-time with a company. At the same time, also gain work experience, and they help you find a full-time job actually to work with. Yeah, so all you need to do is go for the job interview. As long as they hire you, then yeah, you're in the program. I feel that it helps a lot in terms of getting your first job, which is I think very difficult to get. So for me, it's not an issue because they already helped me look for it. They actually sponsored me to study further. That's why I continued studying. Not straight A's anymore. More almost straight A's, 1B.
Oh, nice, nice. Flex.
I would rather education over experience.
I'm very in between though. Without school, without the chance to learn, how can you bring everything out to the working world? But building a portfolio is very important as well.
I mean, I totally agree with what Felicia said. Like, you definitely need both. That's why I guess there's this WSP work-study program, right? So you work and study at the same time. So I do agree that you have to study for the education.
I'll come to that.
Right, like for myself, like I didn't go through like a proper formal education, like a boot camp at most. But at the same time, you need the experience to practice what you learn. If you don't practice what you learn, you just memorizing it, right? You just like stuck it there, and then what's the value towards the business if you don't, use it? You study definitely, and then this will also help. This will help like you apply what you learn in the job.
Why I changed my card, right? It's because, I think at the end of the day, right, you need to know what's your objective. There are people who will look to be a doctor or whatnot. Those you need education. But for those who doesn't need, then you don't need the education part of things, then comes with experience really. So for myself personally, the path that I've done so far, I feel that actually for me personally, it's just experience. I don't need the paper.
So for me, I think it depends on two things. So the first one is what do you want to do? I was pretty lost when fresh out of JC. So because of this uncertainty, I actually went to continue my studies because to figure out what exactly am I passionate about. And then the second one is I feel like education is also the kind of experience you get from it. Like school is not just about the cert, it's also about the experience you get from it, the connections you form. However, I changed it just now because like he mentioned, you need a platform to practice what you learn. So in a way, like experience is very important as well.
As much as I feel experience is a lot more important, but I also feel that to a certain extent, again, the basics is needed also. And the learning journey through school, which you mentioned, like through friends, teachers, also helps.
Even though the irony is that I went to take a higher education and everything, right? But when I think back on my experience, right, those hardest knocks you get in life, right, all come from experience. And knowing what you like also come from experience. So when looking back, even though like education is important, but maybe it's because in the beginning you don't know what to do. But it's through the experience that you find that, okay, this is somewhere I feel more passionate to. And this is somewhere I'll put in more effort to. And then with that passion and motivation driving you, it forces you to acquire more knowledge and become an expert in that field.
All those are part of experiences you gain along the way in life also. So to me, it's better to go both.
So you're middle lah.
Yeah, I guess so.